Hi everyone, it's Lucy from My Crazy Craft Life, and I'm here today with the Christmas All Year Long series for Scrapping for Less. And today I'm going to be using the stamp set Happy Pawlidays from My Favorite Things and the PhotoPlay Here Comes Santa 6x6" paper pad to make 4 different cards in this series. Now, all of these cards that I'm making are pretty quick cards. You know, not every card that we send out at Christmas can be super detailed and take hours and hours. Sometimes we just need to make a bunch of cards and get them out. So that's kind of what this is. So I stamp all of the images. I do stamp quite a few of the presents and the ornaments and the little lights just to be able to use as some additional things that I'm going to add on there. For the Christmas tree, I put a little texture into the tree when I was coloring it just to give it a little bit more than just kind of a plain green tree. And none of this coloring is super fancy. I do use the Studio 71 alcohol markers for this, and again, this is not super fancy coloring, this is pretty basic, but I do love how these dogs turned out with the browns and the grays that I did. I thought those were super cute. And I'm going to give you the dimensions on all of these different cards as we're kind of working through them. But I don't leave all of the coloring in here because, like I said, there's nothing too fancy about it. I did some light shading or some basic shading on it and just kind of got them done. I did use my scan and cut to cut out all of the images so that they were ready to go. Then I jumped in and I started pulling out all of the different papers and deciding how I wanted to make them and what I wanted to do with them. So for this first one, I used a cute Santa background, and these are all A2 size cards, so they're 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. And I used my Crop-A-Dile to kind of crop the edges at the end. And I've been using this paper pad for a while, and so I have a lot of scrap pieces that are kind of thrown in there. And what I did to make this banner piece is I took a piece that was about 1 inch and about 3 inches, and then I took a piece of plain white and just made that one smaller, and that one's about 1/2 inch by about 2 7/8 inches, and then I just kind of fit it inside of there, and I bannered both pieces kind of at the same time, and that's what I used to put my sentiment in there. I used a green piece and I cut that down to 4 inches by about 3 inches, and that's going to be on the front panel. And then the circle that I cut out the little dog in was about 3 3/4 inches, or 2 3/4 inches, I'm sorry. And I did use a little bit of Distress Oxides to just give it a little color around the edges, but that was really just kind of what was already on there. There was nothing that I did with that. Then for my next card, this one was pretty simple. I took a strip that was 2 inches by 5 1/2 inches, so it's the whole length. I did cut the front panel down to 4 inches by 5 1/4. I used the same circle that I cut out the first one, so that's about 2 3/4 inches is the circle. And then I just use a plain white strip that is about 5/8 of an inch wide, that is 4 inches long, to stamp the sentiment, "'Tis the season for treats." And that's all I did for this one. I did not have this really fancy. Like I said, these are just really quick, but they're super cute, and these images are just absolutely adorable. Then for the next card, I am going to take a piece of green with a bunch of ornaments on there, and I'm going to cut that down. I do end up changing the background card from white to an off-white color, and I also cut that down to the 4 inches by 5 1/4. For the sentiment, I use a strip that's a hair over 3.5 inches long, and it's 1 inch wide, and I put Santa Paws is coming to town. And then again, that circle I just cut that little dog out with. And then the last one, I used some plaid paper on a white card that is the 5 1/4 by 4 inches for the panel. And then on top of that panel, I put a piece that was about 2 5/16 by 4 1/4, so it's the whole length of the card. And I cut out an oval that is 3 5/8 inches long and about 3 inches wide. And then I just kind of pieced together a little scene with the Christmas tree and the presents. And at the very end, I used the Spectrum Noir Sparkle pen just to add on to the lights, to the ornaments, to the ribbon on the presents, to the dogs' Santa caps and their collars, and the ribbons on all of the presents. And that is pretty much it. So those are my 4 cards. I hope you enjoy this series because, one, I really like it because it's helping me get a handle on all of my Christmas cards that I need to send out, so I think that's pretty awesome. So thanks for joining me. I hope you have a great day and take care.